Hello and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to the MOPIVERSE. That is what I'm sort of calling the universe that Optimus Prime and Stumblebee are in right now. You know, the universe feels a bit empty with just Optimus Prime and Stumblebee, right? So, without further ado, let's bring in one of the first bad guys in the universe, a dustpan? Hold on a second, and trust me, when he transforms into his sort of robot mode, it'll sort of make more sense. This is a Sweep. The Sweeps in the G1 movie are sort of Scourge's army. They're sort of little clones of Scourge. They look identical to Scourge, and I just thought that the name Sweep would lend itself very nicely to a cleaning product. So this dustpan doesn't look too out of the ordinary. Similar to Optimus Prime and Bumblebee, it just looks like a random household object. For articulation in this mode, he sweeps. You can adjust the dustpan handle on the back, like that, and then you get more range of sweeping. So what does he turn into, you may ask? I mean, the thumbnail spoilt it, didn't it? Let's get right in the transformation and see how far your imagination stretches. So first off, fold this to the back like that, and there's a sort of natural stopping point right there. And then what you're going to do is you're going to swing this dustpan upwards like that, place it on the floor, and then final step is to angle this at a hinge like so. Now again, like all the Optimus Prime and Stumblebee, this is a bit of a stretch, but I think this is a rather clever way to represent Scourge in the MOPIVERSE. So I'm going to bring out one of the only Scourges I have in the collection. Well, to be fair, this is the only Scourge I have in the collection, and as you can see, if I lift this thing upwards to his head, there's some similarities. So this whole dustpan transformation transformer thing is only meant to represent his head. Scourge here sports a very nice mustache that is replicated here with the bristles of the brush. And then the dustpan here is meant to replicate the shape of his face. And then, of course, he has this little anglerfish little light that I've tried to replicate here. But yeah, so this is Scourge or Sweep. And you can print 3 of these. They're super easy to print. Everything is color separated in my version, but in the version I uploaded on Cult 3D, from experience, this red dot is so difficult to print separately, so I just attached it to the blue piece, and if you just find some red Sharpie, just color it in. To be fully honest with you, I think you might be better off doing that instead. So now for the sort of fun bit of the MOPIVERSE, the lore. If you've seen my Stumblebee video, you might have noticed that there's something not quite right with Sweep being a brush. I did mention before that I sort of want the Decepticons to be things that cause the mess, and the Autobots to be the ones that clean up the mess. And that is because Sweep being a brush is just too good of a pun not to make. I've been reading all the comments from the Stumblebee video. You've all had so much fun making lore up for my universe. Let's just say that Sweep here was an Autobot, was a good guy that defected, sort of like Drift from the IDW or Movieverse as well. Let's just say that because he has a good guy alt mode. So let's just put Scourge off to the side and let's introduce his 2-pack enemy. Wheelie's now a wheelie bin that you stick treasure within. I have to introduce him with that stupid rhyme that I made up. Without doubt, when I started the MOPIVERSE and thought about continuing the characters, Wheelie being a wheelie bin was literally the first thing I thought of making. So Wheelie, of course he has to have wheels that roll. They roll super nicely, and there's some functionality in this wheelie bin. So this lid can open and you have some storage. Right, so most of these MOPIVERSE toys I've made to be a fairly good size. So printing is easy, assembly is easy, and you get that good hand feel of sort of a mini bot or a small deluxe. With a bigger size comes a bigger capacity to store treasure. And so let's just put in Masterpiece Spike and then just close him up and he's trapped in there forever. So that's sort of the last bot standing Wheelie, right? And since we're showing off like Wheelie, let's just save Spike and then talk about his transformation. Wheelie here transforms super easily. So you've seen me done it already. So just flip him over like that, open up the lid and hinge it backwards so he has some stable base to stand on, like that. And then to mimic the G1 toy, open this as the sort of cap of Wheelie and revealing a sort of face like that. And there we have MOPIVERSE Wheelie in his robot mode. At first I did think to rotate this part like that and have this part be a sort of big clown feet, but I thought that just looks ridiculous. Like, he really doesn't have that big of a foot, so just rotate him that way. And he has a beaver tail, but he's stable, and I think this look represents Wheelie better. And with that failed transformation step, I indirectly gave him head articulation, and he is the first MOPIVERSE toy with head articulation. So his head can, of course, rotate at that peg, and he can just stare at you emotionlessly. So let's bring in his enemy, Sweep. Now, I think these two colors complement each other perfectly, and if I were to officially release them, or if I were like Hasbro in some alternate dimension, these would be quite a good 2-pack, because orange is, you know, the opposite color of blue on the color wheel, and these two look quite complementary together. I really like the simple style, and I really like making MOPIVERSE toys because they take so fast to make. And if you look at my community posts, I have a MOPIVERSE Megatron finally. He's printing now, so you'll see him probably tomorrow or the day after. Let's bring in Optimus Prime and Stumblebee in their robot modes for the final comparison. Transforming Stumblebee, we have quite a cute auto mop team, and unfortunately for Sweep, he is extremely outnumbered, as well as at a huge disadvantage with him being the smallest out of the group. So let's just transform him back, and I cannot wait to show you Megatron. Although I'm still sort of really leaning towards Mega Trash, because I think that sort of fits him also. So let me know in the comments below whether or not Megatron should be Mega Trash or Muckatron. And there we have the MOPIVERSE so far. These again are super simple to make. They normally just take 2 to 3 hours to print and assemble. The files to Sweep and Wheelie are already out, believe it or not, on my Cult 3D. You can find the link in my description below. They are in a 2-pack, as mentioned before, so you can get them together and print as many sweeps as you want. Oh, before the end of the video, and before I forget, whenever there's a brush in the MOPIVERSE, or whenever there's a thing with a handle, I try and make that thing a 5mm port, so your regular chug toys can hold them. Let's bring in Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime, and have him hold Scourge. Just open his little fingers, fit that into his hand, and then just close it back up. It's good to have interline playability, you know. And that's the video showcase of my 2 newest MOPIVERSE characters, Sweep and Wheelie. I hope you enjoy. Please check out my other videos on my channel, and I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and goodbye.